any worry going on in the WNBA executive offices, if there is no worry, oh, people aren't going to turn off, oh, people are still going to show up, if that was the thought that they were having up there in WNBA La La Land, well, now might be the time to hit the panic button. 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks, the market has responded and the market has told the WNBA.
No doubt that's about to happen. The WNBA teams that move their games, this is about to be catastrophic.
The WNBA is now facing what many believe could be one of its biggest challenges yet. The impact of Caitlin Clark's injury is already being described as significant. Teams that move their games to larger venues specifically to accommodate the enormous crowds she attracts are now confronting the possibility of thousands of empty seats. Reports suggest that some fans have already chosen to step away from the league, while others are refunding their tickets and canceling their plans altogether. Now the conversation has shifted to an even bigger question. What do you think? Have fans gone too far by boycotting the entire WNBA while Clark remains sidelined? Or is that level of loyalty something you completely understand? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
We don't want this. What am I talking about? Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137.
As the WNBA faces one of its most challenging moments, the timing could hardly be worse. Caitlin Clark, widely viewed as the player driving television ratings, boosting merchandise sales, and filling arenas across the country, is now sidelined with a quad injury. Her absence comes at a critical point in the season, just as the league has been enjoying record-breaking attention and unprecedented media coverage. After months of debate surrounding her impact on the WNBA, the loss of its biggest attraction is expected to provide a clear look at what the league could be like without the player who has generated so much excitement and national interest. Many fans and analysts will be watching closely to see whether television ratings, ticket demand, and overall engagement remain at the same level without Clark on the court. Several teams have already experienced larger crowds and increased visibility whenever she has been part of the schedule, making her injury an important test of the league's current momentum. The coming weeks may reveal just how much influence her presence has had on fan interest, attendance, viewership, and the overall conversation surrounding the WNBA as it attempts to maintain the historic growth it has experienced this season.
I don't know when it happened. I know afterwards, we got a message that she had something going on with her leg, and they were getting an MRI, and then we got the alert yesterday.
Was it after the Liberty game on Saturday?
Was that her last game?
Yeah.
Yes. Steph, you had a chance to.
Now let's take a closer look at what is actually happening. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White has said Caitlin Clark will be reevaluated in 2 weeks, but anyone familiar with quad injuries understands that timeline may be optimistic. Realistically, the recovery could last anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks on the sidelines. This is not a minor setback that simply disappears after a few days. It is a legitimate injury that requires proper treatment, patience, and enough time to heal correctly. But this is also where the situation becomes even more complicated. Several teams, along with the league itself, made major financial investments specifically centered around Clark's appearances. The Washington Mystics moved their matchup against Indiana to a Baltimore venue with a capacity of 15,000 fans. The Chicago Sky relocated their game to the United Center, while Dallas shifted its matchup to the American Airlines Center, home of the Mavericks. These were not small or routine decisions. They involved venue rental expenses, extensive marketing campaigns, additional staffing, expanded security arrangements, and countless other preparations, all organized and funded around the drawing power of a single player.
Yeah, I don't know how things work in pretend basketball. I don't know the history of transparency when it comes to timelines for injury returns in the WNBA. But I do know in the NBA, teams are rarely transparent with injuries. When the Pelicans say Zion Williamson will be reevaluated in 2 weeks,
those same teams are now confronting what could become some of their lowest attendance numbers in a long time. Fans also haven't stayed quiet about their frustration. Many are openly posting on social media that they're selling their tickets, canceling their plans, or refusing to attend games until Caitlin Clark returns. One fan explained they were putting their Fever Mystics tickets up for sale because traveling from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore no longer felt worthwhile without Clark playing. Another said they planned to watch Fever games on a delay instead of live, specifically to avoid contributing to the league's live viewership totals. These reactions are no longer limited to just a small group of people. They reflect a broader response from fans who believe their favorite player has been disrespected by the very league they feel she has helped elevate. And if we're being fair, the frustration extends far beyond the injury itself. Much of it centers on how many people believe the WNBA has treated Caitlin Clark since she entered the league. From the very beginning, there has been ongoing debate about embracing her popularity while also downplaying how much influence she has had. Players and media voices repeatedly questioned whether too much attention was being placed on her and argued that other players deserved greater recognition. The challenge with that approach is that it becomes difficult to balance both positions. You cannot base so much of your marketing strategy around one player and then be surprised when her absence creates such a significant and unmistakable gap. While Clark was on the court, the WNBA was producing television ratings unlike anything it had experienced before. Games that once attracted around 200,000 viewers were suddenly drawing audiences of more than 1 million. Arenas that had previously struggled to sell 5,000 tickets were filling venues with capacities of 20,000 fans. Yet instead of fully embracing that momentum and continuing to build around it, the league often appeared uncomfortable with how much of the spotlight Clark was receiving. Rather than openly recognizing that one player was driving a large share of the league's recent growth, there seemed to be a consistent effort to shift the conversation elsewhere. Now the league is expected to get a much clearer and potentially painful look at what attendance figures and television ratings may resemble without her on the floor. At the same time, serious questions are also being raised about the injury itself. Many people are wondering whether Clark returned too quickly after dealing with quad issues during the preseason. In a league with a short schedule and consistently physical competition, protecting its biggest attraction should have remained the highest priority. Instead, the WNBA now faces the possibility that its most important player could miss a significant portion of the season. From a business perspective, the situation represents a major setback. The league had finally begun building meaningful momentum, television deals were improving, mainstream media was paying closer attention than ever before, sponsorship interest had reached new heights. And much of that recent growth was fueled by Clark's ability to much of that audience consisted of casual viewers who normally wouldn't watch women's basketball but tuned in specifically because of her. Those fans often don't have long-standing loyalty to other teams or players, so they're unlikely to watch a matchup like Washington versus Chicago simply because it's on the schedule. One particular player captured their attention and introduced them to the WNBA, and without that player, much of that interest naturally fades away. That isn't a criticism of the other talented players across the league. It's simply the reality of how star power influences professional sports. The effect on attendance could be especially significant. Relocating a game from a 7,000-seat arena to a 20,000-seat venue is a major financial risk that only pays off if enough demand exists to fill those seats. These teams didn't make those decisions expecting to merely break even. They were counting on sellout crowds and premium ticket sales. Now they face the genuine possibility of playing in front of half-empty arenas. The visual impact alone could be damaging, even before considering the additional expenses associated with moving games to larger venues. Television broadcasts showing thousands of empty seats in arenas that were expected to be full create an image that is difficult for the league to overcome. Sponsors notice those scenes, network executives notice them as well, and they can certainly influence future business deals and partnership opportunities. What makes the entire situation even more frustrating is the belief that much of it could have been avoided. The WNBA had an incredible opportunity to fully embrace Caitlin Clark's success and use it as a foundation to elevate the rest of the league at the same time. Instead, her accomplishments were often portrayed as something to manage rather than something to celebrate. There appeared to be an ongoing reluctance to fully acknowledge everything she was contributing. The reaction from fans that we're seeing now is, for many, a predictable outcome of that approach. When fans repeatedly feel that their favorite player is not being valued the way they believe she should be, it's not surprising if they choose to shift their attention elsewhere once she is no longer on the court. The WNBA may now discover that fan loyalty often reflects how supporters believe their favorite players are treated. Some people will argue that boycotting games while Clark is injured goes too far and that fans should continue supporting the rest of the league. However, others believe that perspective overlooks an important point. Many of these fans did not become devoted WNBA followers before discovering Clark. Instead, they began watching because of Clark, with the WNBA serving as the league where they followed her career. That distinction matters. The league had a valuable opportunity to turn Clark-specific fans into long-term supporters of the WNBA as a whole, but that kind of growth requires intentional effort and consistent engagement. It depends on giving fans meaningful reasons to connect with the broader product rather than assuming that interest will naturally expand on its own, especially among casual sports viewers. That simply isn't how fan engagement typically develops. Beyond ticket sales and television ratings, the financial impact could also reach merchandise revenue, sponsorship activations, and media coverage, all of which become more challenging when the league's biggest attraction is no longer on the court. The impact of this situation reaches virtually every part of the league's business operations. Perhaps the most frustrating aspect is that many believe it could have been avoided. Improved load management, stronger injury prevention measures, and avoiding a rushed return after an earlier quad issue may have reduced the risk of ending up in this position. Some observers argue that the desire to maximize Clark's popularity in the short term may have encouraged decisions that placed immediate financial opportunities ahead of long-term player health. The timing only adds to the challenge. The WNBA had finally begun reaching a broader mainstream audience, but maintaining that momentum depends on consistency. When a league's biggest star repeatedly misses time, casual viewers often don't continue waiting indefinitely. Many simply move on to something else, and there is no guarantee they will return. Now the league is facing a defining question. Will it fully recognize the impact Clark's presence has on its business, or will it continue promoting the idea that no single player is essential to the WNBA's success? That position could become much harder to defend as attendance and television ratings are closely watched over the coming weeks. There is also an undeniable irony in the situation. After spending so much time emphasizing that the league's success extends beyond one player, the WNBA is now in a position where many will closely examine what life looks like without Clark on the court. Early signs suggest that the outcome may not be especially encouraging. For many supporters, the growing boycott movement represents more than just frustration over a quad injury. It reflects the broader belief that the league has not shown enough appreciation for the player who introduced them to the WNBA. When that lingering frustration is combined with the reality that a significant portion of today's audience began watching because of one specific athlete, it creates the perfect storm the league is now experiencing. While teams that invested heavily in Clark's drawing power prepare to face the full impact of that decision. Those relocated games, expanded marketing budgets, and heightened expectations were all built around one central assumption that she would be on the court. Without her, those decisions now risk becoming costly reminders of the challenges that come with building so much of a strategy around a single player without creating a reliable safety net. The WNBA may soon receive a powerful lesson in the economics of star power. Attendance figures, television ratings, and media attention during the absence of its biggest attraction are expected to provide a much clearer picture of the league's current position. Based on the reactions fans have already expressed, many believe those numbers may not tell a particularly encouraging story. This situation also highlights the ongoing debate that has surrounded women's basketball since Clark entered the league. The discussion over individual star power versus collective growth may soon be shaped less by opinions and more by measurable results. The numbers themselves will ultimately reveal what is driving interest in the WNBA at this moment. Many believe the league is now facing an important lesson about the potential consequences of undervaluing the player viewed by many as a major contributor to its recent growth. If attendance declines and television ratings fall, those results will send a message that is difficult to dismiss. They will offer a clearer understanding of what has the greatest impact on the league's business. What are your thoughts on everything that's unfolding? Share your opinion in the comments below, and if you enjoy honest, straight-to-the-point sports coverage, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more.